going on? What's going on? How y'all doing this morning? This is our second attempt at doing the vlog, man. The first one seemed to be well received, so we back at it again. And as you can see, I'm back on the road. But now this particular time, we are fulfilling our responsibilities this week for our second major contract. It's a medical supply company, and what they do is they supply a device that's much like the life alert device. But what it does is, there's a little button. After we program it, we go out and set it up, but there's a little button that's on the particular device that you hold, and emergency services will be contacted. And if even if the client takes a fall and maybe becomes unconscious, we still can go out and help if necessary because of this little small device. So it's a wonderful thing, man. And if you have parents that are of a certain age, maybe they're seniors, this is a good thing to think about, especially if they're in an area where they're not easily accessible, or maybe you're kind of far away. That added security that the device gives can really put you at ease. Boy, didn't that just sound like a commercial? Somebody need to cut the check for me, seriously. But anyway, let's get back to what we're doing today, man. We have a couple of deliveries that we have to make in regards to that, because we've already set the devices up at home and verified that they work. We verified the client's name, address, phone number, and so everything was set up properly. Everything is programmed, so the only thing left is to deliver it to the customer. But now, let's change gears for a moment. I think I need to, because I hadn't really voiced my opinion on any of the topics that we're about to discuss, but I think it's time I did. One of the things that I want to discuss with you all, man, is the situation with Fresh and Fit. Here's the thing, and I know I say this a lot, especially, if you are familiar with, my rationale, my line of thought. It's never any excuse to jeopardize or to compromise your manhood. That's if you practice manhood. Because now there's a difference between males and men. I'll say that right off the top. But now, why would you compromise your manhood for, I guess, popularity? Because in my estimation, Fresh and Fit, they really had a meteoric rise. And there were a lot of people that's in the Manosphere that co-signed what they thought, co-signed what they said and did. And so they became very popular very quickly. But now here's the thing. In any situation, and you should look for it, if this is not authentically you, if this is some facade that you're putting on, if this is some mask that you wear, sooner or later, individuals are going to expose you. You're going to have to remove the mask. There are going to be situations that come up that force you to show who you really are. And I think that's what happened, especially in their exchange with Albert and Preach. Now, as far as the two of them are concerned, I think I have a greater respect for Albert and Preach than I do for Fresh and Fit, only because of the fact that Albert and Preach from the beginning have been their authentic selves. Now, of course, a lot of the time they are endeavoring to add some comedic element to it. They want you to laugh. They want you to be entertained. But as a whole, the way that they approach things is very, very much who they are in their day-to-day life. If you look at Albert and you see him or you see Preach on Instagram, they're the same people that they are in the YouTube videos. So they suggest that there's an element of integrity. They want you to know who they are. They don't want you to be subscribed to some person that's imaginary. They want you to know who they are. And I can admire that. And that's the reason why I feel like Fresh and Fit really compromise their integrity as men. Because if you are a man and you accomplished all these wonderful things that they've claimed, having an abundance of wealth, having a certain mindset, being able to maneuver in life despite difficulties, I'm for all that. I agree with that. But now, if that's authentically you, then there would never be a need to hide who you really are. If you're doing the things that you say, there would be no need to hide those things. There would be no need to paint a picture that wasn't true. And then too, there wouldn't be any insecurities about it. If you're putting forth that this is the kind of person that you are and this is the kind of life that you lead, there are no insecurities about that, because this is actually what you're doing. So I was on a panel a little while ago where we were discussing men who have a positive effect on our culture, and I think it was a wonderful discussion, because a lot of times individuals who are actually living the way that they're prescribing for you, they're actually doing the things that they're asking you to do. I think men in our community who do that, I think they're setting a good example. Because if I'm telling you, one of the things that I advocate for is positive masculinity, right? I advocate for a man taking his life and all of the things that go into his life into his own hands and steering it in a direction that's going to be positive and constructive. But now, what would happen if you come to find out that that's not what I'm all about? You would absolutely lose all respect for me. You would. Because on my podcast now, we're talking about some major topics. We're talking about single mothers. We're talking about the divorce rate. We're talking about children being born out of wedlock. We're talking about a number of things. And if later on in life you come to find out that what I have said on my podcast is what I'm advocating for, the ad mentality, accountability, discipline, and determination are things that I don't use in my own life, then you would lose all respect for me. And that would be the correct response. The correct response would be that you would lose respect for me. Because the things that I'm asking you to do, I'm not doing them myself. So I think that in the case with Fresh and Fit, man, it was really something that was necessary. It was going to happen anyway. It was going to happen anyway. They just picked the wrong individuals for it to happen with. Insulting a man's wife, insulting, things about him that were most definitely going to get a rise. See, that if you approach things in that way. I remember there was a time, especially when I was younger, where if there was a case where there was some disrespect, then now me and you gonna have to talk outside. We're gonna have to go outside. We're gonna rough each other up, and then after it's over with, we'll come inside and that'll be that. But in this particular situation, they really picked some people that was ready for all of the smoke. They were ready for it. Having priests, they're the kind of people in life, you meet these people, you know this kind. They don't bother anyone now. They gonna speak honest and truthfully. They don't bother anyone though. So when you bother them, now it's time for them to give you everything they got. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. I got a friend of mine named Japrice. We do CJ Kyle's show together. And yesterday she was asking that we kind of back off, right? She was asking that we kind of allow the situation to die off. And I didn't agree with it. I said, now, if anybody got shots for them, they need to let them fly. I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because the manosphere is saturated with people that are influenced by what we say and do. Now, a lot of the individuals in the manosphere have what I call, and what many other content creators call, red pill rage. They're upset. There are things that are happening to them in their life because of women that they've dealt with that have made them cold and callous and hard-hearted. Okay, that's fine. We understand that that's the case. We advocate that them brothers get therapy. We advocate that they do the work so that they can break free of their hatred. But nevertheless, red pill rage is a real thing. It's not something we came up with. There are actually individuals on YouTube specifically to denigrate women. And I think, this is just my humble opinion, but I think all of the shots that are fired are things that are warranted, because as members of the manosphere, it's our responsibility to discipline individuals who paint us in the bad light. We got enough things. The media, women in general, some but not all, You know, we already got enough people pointing at the negative elements of men in our culture. So I think it was a wonderful thing that the brothers stood up and they disciplined these particular brothers, because, hey, everybody, even though we are not directly involved, everybody within the Manosphere, everyone that's advocating for men's rights, everyone that's advocating that men become the best version of themselves, this is a shadow that was cast on us. This is a cloud above us, a dark cloud. And I thought it was a wonderful thing that most of the individuals taking the lead in the Manosphere stood up and made it clear that this is not something that we support. We don't support faking it till you make it. We don't support that. Either this is what you about or not. When I get on my platform, I talk about small businesses because that's what I have. I'm not going to tell you I'm a multi-millionaire, because I'm not. I'm not going to paint a picture that's false. So that's the thing I was most proud of. I was proud that individuals in the Manosphere decided that they were going to take a stand. See, that's part of taking back our image. That's part of it. For those who want to represent us in a way that's going to be negative, in a way that's going to tear us down, we have to stand up as a group. As a group, we have to stand up and reprove these particular individuals. We're not going to stand for it, and here's what we're going to do. And the impact was felt, because the estimates now is that they lost over 50,000 subscribers because of this foolishness. Either you are who you are or you're not. And that reality should help anybody who is going to start a YouTube channel, maybe a platform where they're advocating for a certain issue. Make sure that this is genuinely you. Make sure that this is uniquely you. And then another thing I tell you, what I thought about, and I could be wrong, but anybody who has to put on the facade, anybody who has to make things appear to be one way when they're actually something totally different, that person, I would question the way that they value themselves. Maybe you felt like who you are as a person would not be valuable. But see, you'll never know unless you put yourself out there. You can never understand that unless you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And so I think that that's something that they need to think about. Who are you? If this is not who you are, maybe you can rebrand and come out as who you are. And I think that would be more beneficial, because people understand and they gravitate toward people that's authentic. Because if you're authentic and you're willing to share, that means primarily that you're concerned that individuals don't make the mistakes that you made, and you want individuals to benefit from the knowledge that you have where you were successful. That's what this is about. Now, that's what it's about for me. Let me say that. If there are difficulties that you're having, and my example can help you through those difficulties, or something I say can help you through those difficulties, then hey, I did my job. Even if it only reaches one person, I've done my job. So I think that whole situation could have been averted, man, if they were just who they were. And then another thing too, man, don't talk no noise if you ain't ready to back it up. Don't do that. You got folks saying things, I'll meet you in the boxing ring and all that. Man, listen, if you're not about that life, man, don't say that, because it's going to be somebody come along going to pull your card. And when they pull your card, because you were talking slick and you weren't ready to back it up, now that's your fault. That's on you. Which is something that happened in this instance also. Man, please, listen. Be who you are. Be who you are. Because regardless of who you are, you got something to offer. I said this a while ago on one of my podcasts. Man, listen. Because you are unique, that means that you have something to offer the world that nobody else does. So why not put that in front of you? Why not offer that? And for the ones who appreciate who you are, good, and the ones that don't, you don't know them anyway. And neither should you care about their opinion. So now we almost at the first delivery. So I'll be taking a break for a moment. I'll pick you back up when we through with that delivery, okay? Peace! All right. So that particular installation went very, very well. family was very nice. That's all that you can ask for in these kinds of situations, man, because you know, I imagine that it must be very difficult to care for a loved one who is aged and who has medical issues, but hopefully the device will help them and give them a little bit peace of mind. Hopefully it will. That's what it's intended to do that. So as I mentioned, it went well. Now, I got some good news. I got an email just lately that I have some recording equipment that will be here tonight. I ordered a new mic and a few other things for my YouTube platform and for other platforms that I'm a part of. Shout out to CJ Kyles and his podcast, CJ Kyles Experience. Listen, man, go over there and subscribe, man, and like the video, because he has some real good stuff over there, man. Some real hard-hitting things. I think that you will like it. But as I mentioned, I have a couple of things coming in, man. I'm excited about it because, like a lot of people, I've decided to really go all in on my YouTube channel. So we'll see how things turn out. The very next appointment that we have is, I have a customer that wants some security cameras installed in her home, well, actually outside of the home, because she said that one night she heard a noise, and come to find out there was someone that was trying to get into her car. And so I'm thinking, the first thing I thought about when I heard that is not only lights but also security cameras. And one company that makes a very good security camera with a spotlight is Arlo, and you can get those right from Walmart. And I think that in her case, what we're going to do is we're going to pair the three spotlight security cameras with maybe a device that will allow her to view those cameras inside of her home. And we'll see what all we can come up with. But I'm thinking, because the last time I did an install similar to this, that's the same format that we used. Arlo cameras can work with those smart displays that Google makes. So the last time we had a Lenovo smart display that was in the house, and we'll see if that one will work in the same instance. It should. But what I want her to be able to do is to check the cameras from the safety of her home without having to do anything extra. Maybe we'll put it in her back bedroom or in her kitchen, depending on where she would like it. And so a couple of taps that'll give her the ability to see all around her home in regards to what's going on outside. And I think that'll put her mind at ease also. And if you notice now, a lot of times that's what I'm doing. I'm out in the public. When I'm not working on my major contract, I have 3 other contracts that I work in. 2 of them require me to set up devices, electronic devices for people, install electronic devices, things of that sort. And so that's what this appointment will be. But we'll see how it works out. We're going to go on out to her house and see what it is that she has for us, and I'll pick you up in a little bit, okay? Peace. All right, this has been a very productive day, man. I'm glad that you all stuck it out with me. I executed the plan just like I thought I would. We put up one security camera because evidently Walmart was sold out of the ones that I wanted. So I was able to get one with a spotlight on it. And we installed the camera, set up the smart display. Actually, it was a Nest Hub display is what it was. And it worked wonderfully. I think my customer is gonna really love it. She had to run off to an appointment and she left me in her home, and so we locked up and made sure everything was good before we left. But I think that in a little while I'm going to get a call from her and we'll go back out and walk her through all of the things that smart display can do, and it's quite a few things that it can do. Man, I was impressed. I really was. I never had a chance to sit down and just really play with one, just to see its capabilities, man. But it's a super thing. And then even with the smart display,